Welcome back. We've heard from Barb Cooksley and Jeff Nichols about the importance of conservation and sustainability. And the Environmental Stewardship Award program highlights farmers and ranchers that excel in these efforts. Let's head to Iowa for an in-depth look at the 2021 ESAP Region 3 winner, Robbins Land Cattle.
In west central Iowa, near the town of Scranton, sits Robbins Land Cattle. Justin and Lacie Robbins started farming together soon after they married in 2003.
We are a family operation. It includes my son McKinley and my husband Justin. We raise corn and soybeans, and we also have cow-calf herd.
I grew up right across the river. My wife is from the other side of the county, and she grew up raising some cattle with her family. Bringing those two ideas together have been interesting at times, but it gives us two different views to be able to talk through and work through some things.
One of the most important resources at Robbins Land Cattle is the grass they use to feed their purebred Angus cattle. The majority of their pastures are rotationally grazed, which helps to improve the health of the land.
So a group of cows will be in one part of the pasture for so many days, and then we rotate them into another paddock, so they'll have another section of the pasture that they get to, so that way the previous one will have time to rest, and it can regrow and rejuvenate and while they're into the next parcel. When we give the ground time to heal and to rest, it does make a difference. It lets it just continue to hold that ground moisture and grow a little more nutrient-friendly product. And the cows do better. We'll actually be able to run more cows on a farm.
Getting water to the cattle is another important goal. The Robbins family has installed several wells around the farm to provide a reliable source of water for livestock and wildlife.
When you're rotationally grazing cattle, they have to have water. You need to be able to provide the nutrients and the minerals that they need. So we've put some different solar wells in to make things a little easier to rotate cows. Try to bring the managing down so you don't have to really work for the cows, but the cows can really just do their thing and work for you.
A good portion of Robbins Land Cattle is located along the North Raccoon River, and the family is committed to preventing runoff into this important tributary.
When the water leaves our farm, it goes into the creeks and the tributaries and it hits the Raccoon River, and from the Raccoon River it goes downstream and ends up in the Des Moines area. Everything runs downhill, so I want clean water as it comes by my cows from upstream, so I want to make sure that the water downstream is clean when it leaves here. Our cows do not get in the river and just hang out and muddy the waters. In our pastures, we keep them fenced out of the water because we want to make sure that it's not just us that we're thinking about. You know, there's millions of people downstream that we need to help protect as well.
One way the Robbins family helps keep the soil in place is through the use of cover crops. Justin first started experimenting with them in 2013, and he now plants cover crops on at least 50% of the farm.
A cover crop is something that you just put out there to cover the ground, basically, to hold that moisture in, don't let the sun and the wind dry it out as bad. And it'll break up the hard pan, lets the water percolate through, get some good air into the soil, and it just helps build the life of the soil. In our operation, cover crops really go hand in hand with our cows. It makes for a very inexpensive feed for our cows to graze during the fall and winter, and even sometimes into the spring. Then as the cows eat that feed and then they go back out and pass it as manure into the field, it breaks down and turns to fertilizer right there as well.
Justin and Lacie do multiple conservation practices through their livestock and their grain farming, the kinds of things that work environmentally, economically, and agronomically to make their farm the best it can be.
I kind of call myself a learning farm. I'm constantly learning. I have all kinds of different experiments going on at any given time, different crop production or cover crops, and we try to make everything profitable and fun and functional all at the same time. We really enjoy what we do out here.
Justin and Lacie's farm has only been called Robbins Land Cattle for a couple of years. This new name came about as they started a new enterprise, an online store where they sell their homegrown beef. They see it as an opportunity to share their story of environmental stewardship with their customers.
In early 2020, we started an online store to sell our beef. This gives us an opportunity to tell our story and how we operate our farm. People ask us questions all the time about how we treat the animals, what they're getting fed, do we pet them, do we name them? They're fascinated by everything we have going on here. We absolutely love questions. The more we can educate, the better we are.
People that buy our steaks and get beef from us, I want them to understand that it brings joy to our hearts to know that they are eating a tasty, healthy product that was raised with care and love.
Justin and Lacie have worked hard to make sure their farm is healthy and sustainable. And every day they strive to do what's best for the land, their cattle, and the people who eat their beef.
It's something you do every day. It's not just a once-a-year thing. It's every day you're trying to make something better. We haven't reached the end, we never will. If you want to be the best, you have to continue to improve every day.
We need to leave this world better than how we found it. It's just the way it should be. I am proud of how far we've come. I was just telling my son McKinley, I believe I finally hit that point where I think I can own the fact that we are doing things right. And it's taken a lot of years to get where we want to be, but we truly love what we do.
To learn more about the Environmental Stewardship Award program and see videos of all the past regional and national winners, visit the website environmentalstewardship.org.